In this video, we're going to show you a live recording that uncovers the successes and failures of live websites today so that you can grow your company and learn from their mistakes. Hope you enjoy it. Hi guys, and welcome to the Creative Marketing Review, where on each show we'll take a web page, we'll dig into what's working so that you can leverage that on your own site, as well as what could be improved so that you can avoid making the same mistakes to yourself on your site. All with a view to help you stand out online, sell better, and make more of an impact. So this is CMR number 4. I'm Adam from the Fairhead Creative team, and I'm joined with
Matthew,
also from the Fairhead Creative team. How you doing, mate?
Doing well. How about you?
Yeah, doing all right, doing okay. So as always, we're going to go through our 5 key areas to determine what's working and what isn't on sites today. We call them clarity of communication, immersion of design, persuasion, focus, and mission. So do please comment as we go through this, or at the end of the show, with what you like, what you don't like, what could be improved, what was helpful, what you learned, what you didn't, and what you'd like to see more of, so that the show can get better and better as time goes on. All right, so you ready to dig in?
Let's do it.
Great, okay. So today's site is a sustainable e-commerce store that sells socks. Again, we've scrubbed the name out, as we often do. If I pull the site up here, we've scrubbed the name out of this site in the interest of protecting brand names and all the rest of that, unless they would explicitly like us to reveal them. And we're going to go through these 5 key points. So starting with number 1, clarity of communication. So here, we're going to be looking for how well this site is communicating, who they're talking to, and what they should be saying to those people. So Matt, initial thoughts on this site and its clarity of communication?
Yeah, I mean, right away, we know exactly who this site is appealing to, right? We know it's for socks. We know it's kind of different fun socks. And we know that they're high quality. What isn't communicated super clearly here is kind of their mission and the sustainability aspects of what they're doing, which is obviously important to them, as we'll see eventually further down the page, but it's not really that clearly communicated. That said, they've got great product images right on the homepage, great examples of the product being used and worn by different types of feet. And so I really like how we know right off the bat exactly what they're selling. We've got lots of pictures of it, but I think the clarity does fall down a little bit on communicating their mission a little bit more throughout the page. And also until this section here, we don't really know if it's men's and women's or if they're unisex or what's going on. And so they'll lose a little bit of a mark there as well for clarity of communication by making me scroll all the way down here just to figure out that they have men's and women's. Yeah,
it seems to me on first contact with this that they're very clear about what they do and what their product is and what's wonderful about it. Mm-hmm. And as a visitor visiting the page, we get that message. They know what they're selling. And why they make socks in the way that they do. Yeah. What we aren't so clear on is how much they understand us as a visitor, as a prospect. Is this site for people like me? Or is it for a different... Do you understand what my problems are with socks? Why I would buy such a... Are you trying to make me feel understood, or are you trying to make me understand first? So from a communication perspective, that stuck out to me a little bit. A lot of their communication is right down here.
Yeah, they're very focused on the product and how it's made and what the features of it are. And they're much less focused, I think, on building empathy with their audience and creating an emotional connection with the visitors to their website.
Yeah. So a takeaway here, guys, will be that there's 2 sides to this. There's understanding what makes your product great and being able to articulate that. But there's also understanding your audience and being able to articulate them. Both sides are important when it comes to clarity of communication on a page. If we don't feel like we can see ourselves on the page and that it's for people like us and that the site gets us, then we're going to be far less likely to be interested as a result in what you do, why you do it, what makes it great, and all the rest of it, because we don't have that context of it being specific for us. So that would be a good takeaway, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, section 2.
Let's do it.
Okay, so part 2, immersion of design. So here we're going to be looking for signs that this site is saying, look at this rather than look at me. How well the site's design visualizes the story that the site is trying to tell rather than just reducing to decoration and frilly bits. So initial thoughts when I hit this page up is that right away it's saying, look at this, not look at me, in that we've got a product photo front and center. And it's showing some of its personality in the fact that it's got a couple of hairy legs on the screen and it's got just the socks there, and that's
yeah.
the lot.
Yeah. I love this whole hero section, the copy and the design. I think it's really nice. Yeah.
I mean, personally, I would have put the content and the product next to each other because we're overlay. We see more leg than sock with this placement. We've covered sock and revealed leg, so we could have put these side by side. There's enough room. But I like how it's trying to say, look at this. Here we've got some lovely compositions. They're designing the page by preparing the product to look cool, rather than just trying to frill it up with niceties and decorations and distractions to make it look cool. All these different compositions they've got, lovely, I think.
Yeah.
It's showing products, it's showing reviews, it's showing price, it's showing me all the stuff that I would want to see, which is great. We do have some parts which are a little bit confused maybe as to when we get there what it wants us to look at first. We've got the product shots, the text over the top, buttons that we can't really read. As a
copywriter, this section really is a pet peeve for me when they make the copy very difficult to read over a bright background like that.
Right. To make the copy hard to read is to bring the text to life. And that's a distinction that we can take away, guys, is if we're going to have good copy, which that's where design should always start, the design should express the copy, not make the copy feel like hard work, which is what this part here is doing. So here we're doing it right. Here we're doing it pretty good. Here we're doing it wrong. So we can see those differences there, can't we, as to what's working well and what perhaps isn't working so well.
Yeah.
And we see that this problem here is manifesting further down the page as well. Here, I'm not sure what that says there even. Shop mystery boxes.
Yeah.
It's a bit of hard work to really get that out.
Yeah.
Of the thing. So those would be my thoughts there for immersion of design. Any other? Oh, I suppose this part we could mention. It's supposed to be a fun brand, but when it's going to actually tell us about the products, it suddenly gets really boring. Like that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we've got to say words now when you get to this part of the page. When this should be something that we're really wanting to express, to bring to life, to show the personality and the fun in the way that we're communicating the message.
Yeah. I thought that the copy could have been integrated a bit better with the design throughout the page. Yeah. We've almost got, phases of design and then sections of copy and then sections of design, rather than having them really work together with each other. And I thought as well in parts that some of the copy was in quite a small font that didn't really make me that excited about reading it, And
it's a big slab as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quite a bite.
It's not broken into readable chunks. There's nothing wrong with having greater amounts of copy on a page. In fact, a lot of the sites that we build actually have quite a lot of copy, but we're careful to intersperse it well with the design to create that slippery slide effect for the reader, where by the end of the page, it doesn't feel like they've read blocks and blocks of text, because there's fun design elements along the way drawing them in, and it's broken up more.
Think of sites that we use every day, like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Think of the sites that we use a lot nowadays. There's a lot of content on those. We go there for the content, with being images, being text. The message that we're perhaps trying to read to get from people is in the text. But if it was just text and we're scrolling through text, that'd be hard work. So the images help keep us moving through that content that we're all practically addicted to, right?
Yeah.
So the images have an important role of getting us through the content, but the content's what we come for. So weaving them together, having design and the visuals help move you through the story, means that how long do people spend on Facebook every day? you scroll for hours. So it's not as though a lot of content is a bad thing. It's just that it needs to be, the design needs to work to make the content something which is easy to digest and fun to digest.
Yeah.
So there's a takeaway there, guys, for Section 2 Immersion of Design that I think could be quite valuable. Do you want to go to Part 3, Persuasion?
Yeah, as a final note on the design, if you just stop on the picture of their founders there, this is actually a fun photo, but they're holding a pineapple, which has nothing to do with their brand, apart from the fact that it's fun. And it's just, it's a little bit jarring. And I'm not sure that it's jarring in the right way of drawing attention and kind of waking me up, breaking a pattern. It more just feels jarring in a strange way. So having a better tie-in to what they're selling, maybe they have sock puppets made of their socks or something. Something that's still fun, but doesn't kind of take me out of the flow of the page.
You could scroll to this part of the page, an example of what we were talking about just then, just to make this up as we're going. To get to this part of the page and to have a couple of sock puppets pop up. Each looks a little bit like each founder, for instance, as it's telling you the message. And hi I'm, and hi I'm. It's something which is breaking the pattern. It's fun, it's interesting, it's engaging, it's immersive, it's remarkable. You'll share it with people because you enjoyed it. But it's going to be a good vehicle for you to continue to scroll through the page and to read all about what they're doing and why this brand is important.
Yeah.
Pineapple not necessarily in that version. So good catch there, mate. Okay, so Part 3 then, Persuasion. So here we're going to be looking for how well this site persuades visitors to move forward. So we're looking at the copywriting, we're looking for conversion-oriented design decisions and good offers that are designed to move people forward through the journey of the site. So given the fact that this is an e-commerce site, there are a few good things that they put in right away. We see fast delivery. We don't know what fast is quantifiably, but it's nice to know that it's important to them. Free shipping on orders over €40, so we know it's a European site. So,
although it doesn't say where their free shipping goes to.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't make it explicit where it's shipping to. Free shipping on orders to continental United States on over $50 or something. Yeah. Tells you all the information that you're going to need to know. €40 it's implicit that it's a European site. I'm probably going to have to pay a little bit more to get through to the US, for instance, but it's good that that's been mentioned. What are you feeling on Persuasion as we go through the pages, we scroll through it?
I think from a perspective of showing off their products and giving people lots of options to click through to a product or click through to a category, I think they're doing really well with that. But where I think they're missing out a little bit is with the copy that they're using on the page. We talked about how most of the copy is kind of buried further down. And we also talked about how it's not super clear exactly that they understand who their audience is on this page. I imagine actually, just based on what they've created here, that internally they probably have a very good sense of who buys their products and who their audience is, but they're not really building a lot of empathy and creating an emotional connection between those people and their brand on the homepage here. And doing that would contribute greatly to persuading people to click through to those product pages. They'd feel the connection, they would feel more invested in the brand. And also on the persuasion side too, one thing that we talked about just before getting on the call here is that this brand actually is doing a lot for the environment and sustainability. And it definitely seems like that's a part of their mission, but they're not really working that into the persuasion of the page. They're not talking about the fact that their socks are made of organic cotton. We don't see that until much farther down. And even then it's kind of buried in one of those walls of text. We're also not seeing, they've got reviews and also a whole bunch of media placements that they've got way further down the page here. The media placements are right at the bottom and being featured in Business Insider and Forbes and NBC and GQ. That's big stuff that would really help move people to action and show that they're an established brand with a great track record. And hiding it at the bottom is just a missed opportunity. That should be way further up the page so that it's visible and people see it while they're still being introduced to and learning about the brand.
Definitely. Yeah, seeing these out of the gate is going to frame the whole site in quite a different way for a visitor, isn't it? You're going to think that I'm not the first person that's found this. If I buy it, people say this is really good, so as I'm looking at these, I can just assume that they're brilliant.
For sure.
So that's definitely a thing. I liked the idea of the mystery box. The concept of a blind box purchase, or it is quite a fun concept. You don't really know what you're going to get.
It ties in with kind of the fun colors and whatnot on the rest of the site.
Yeah, it didn't in this particular placement. It's not done a great job of explaining what that really means.
I agree.
It's got a stock photograph, not a stock photo, a stock illustration even mixed between a couple of photographs. It's not really. It doesn't look as fun as I think it probably is, or is supposed to be.
Yeah, they had a different mystery box picture further down that I thought actually was better. That one there. Yeah, shows more what it actually is.
Yeah, so I don't know if they ship a mystery box in a blind container where you can't see what's inside till you get into it or something. There's a fun energy about mystery boxes.
Yeah.
That I think could be expressed a little bit more. I did also see that we've got a newsletter is the alternative to buying something. So we can either buy something or we can get spammed. Are the two options that in the mind of a visitor, what we're going to see.
Anytime you have something like this that doesn't really clearly say exactly what somebody's signing up for or getting, people kind of shut off and they just assume, oh, I don't want this. It's just going to be another newsletter cluttering up my inbox. Yeah.
The thing about newsletters are, if we're going to have one, we should be specific about what's coming, and not just what kind of content, but the frequency.
Yes.
What exactly is going to be in. Can I even see some examples of past ones? The more confident I am about what I'm going to get, the more confident I'll be in making that decision to sign up.
Yeah, and specificity really is what it comes down to here, right? Like they're saying free giveaways. Well, do you have a giveaway every month? Is it enter your email here and every month we give away a mystery box of free socks to one lucky subscriber? If that's what it is, tell me. That's much more compelling because I know exactly what I'm opting in for, what I have a chance to win, than just having the vagueness of saying free giveaways, once in a lifetime deals. Once in a lifetime too, it's a little bit of hyperbole, right? Like we're selling socks.
Right.
Let's
remember what we're doing here.
yeah, and that kind of hype generally we don't see working very well in marketing.
It's akin to putting exclamation points at the end of every sentence, isn't it?
Exactly. It doesn't feel authentic.
Exactly. Yeah. If we've got newsletters over here and we've got buying stuff over here, there's all this middle space where we can put offers.
Yeah.
We want to get somebody over here to buy something. And, the fallback being this, there are things that we can do to move people along. I don't know if it would be, quizzes, for instance, or other sorts of interactive elements that we could encourage people to partake in. A personality score of what kind of sock matches your personality, or what it could be any number of things.
Sure.
That could fit in the middle. That could help move people along from who are you through to, yes, I've got 14 pairs of those.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some options. So, as we're watching this, let's remember there is stuff between those poles, and we should the better we can do the better we can do it at filling that gap and moving people along, the better. Okay. Shall we go to focus number 4?
Yeah, just one more little thing on Persuasion there. That call to action section with their newsletter, it also doesn't stand out within the design. There's nothing pulling my attention to it there. I'd actually be likely to miss it if I was just scrolling through, especially with that next pink photo underneath is quite eye-catching. It doesn't. It feels kind of tossed in as opposed to something placed intentionally to draw people there. So.
Yeah, the design isn't saying, look at this here. It's not pointing to the subscribe button. It's saying, it's just the same as, you've looked at all this, you've just had all of this, black and white, 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 black. And now something's interesting, a pineapple.
Yeah.
Right? So it's begging to not be looked at.
Yeah.
So, as a design point, as a conversion point, if a pineapple picture is winning out over your only alternative to buying something, then that could be considered a problem. So
yeah.
That. Okay, so part 4 of 5, focus. Here we're going to be trying to see how well this site focuses on doing one thing for one kind of person. Is it trying to do too many things, or is it focusing on creating just one result? So this is an e-commerce site. This is the homepage that we're looking at. We've done a lot of homepages recently. We should do some product.
Yeah.
And being the homepage, its job is to get you into the store by really any means necessary.
Yeah.
So good nav, good explanation as to why you would want to shop in this store, what's interesting, what makes it special, what kind of products are on offer. These are all the things that we would wanting to grade a homepage by way of focus. What are your thoughts, mate, as I'm scrolling through?
Yeah, I mean, right from landing on this page, immediately that this is a fun sock company, right? The copy, socks that don't suck, the design with the fun colors and the hairy legs. I know exactly what their product is. And that is, I think, a real strength that they really deserve commendation for with how they put this together. Is we know exactly what they're selling and exactly what the product is. Where it maybe could use a bit of improvement, and I'm sure you'll have some thoughts on the design as well around this. But as we go further down the page, it almost starts to lose focus a little bit. Not so much in this section, but then when we get to the next bit, best sellers, no shows, kids, we're starting to get less focused, and we don't really have copy to explain and keep us on track as we go through until we get down to here. So
right, yeah, it's focused in so much as it's all about socks.
Yeah,
this is a sock site, and they sell socks. They haven't created random other tangential products and services that distract you from that. They didn't start thinking, oh well, maybe we'll work our way up. Maybe we'll start doing jeans now.
Right.
They stuck with the socks.
Yeah.
Which is a definite plus. But the focus is lost on when we get to the top of this page. It's assumed, this is either a guy or it's a very hairy lady at the top of this page. We don't see it saying men's and women's or anything else up at the top of the page.
Yeah. Or even visually, they could have like a men's legs and a women's legs. Sure.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we don't know. I'm still not 100% sure if this is for me yet. When we're here, we're coming down to here, socks, presumably, prevailingly unisex products. Right. But nevertheless, I'm not entirely sure. It might not be something that we'll be drawn to as women. I'm saying as women. To go to a site that's got just a bunch of dudes on it with hairy legs wearing socks. I might not be thinking, oh, those would be nice with, that's not going to be perhaps drawing me in.
Agree.
So there's a point in it. We've also got here men's socks, no show socks, women's socks, and more. It's almost like
it's an afterthought.
It's an other
seems like
category. Yeah. So is it a focus or is it not a focus? Let's make that clear. All right. So that'd be some leading thoughts there. When we're building pages, one of the formulas that we try and use in our team is one kind of audience plus one message equals one page.
Yeah.
If we're going to have multiple audiences, that's multiple pages. Multiple products, that's multiple pages. Let's keep each page very focused on precisely who it's for and what they need to hear about whatever it is that's going on that page, whatever's for sale, whatever information or whatever it might be. So that's a definite takeaway for focus when it comes to pages like these, and indeed most pages online. All right. Any other thoughts for focus, or should we go through to part 5?
Let's go through the part 5.
All right. So part 5 is mission. So here we're going to be looking at how well this site expresses why they are the best fit for their target audience, why this website exists, why the people behind this site are the best folks for the job versus their competition. There's a lot of why going on here. Why is this going to be something that's important and from these guys? So we can see as we come down the page, this part, I guess we could consider to be the mission, effectively the closest thing to a mission section.
Yeah, although they kind of have bits sprinkled through other parts of the page as well around this.
Yeah.
And I think right off the bat, I mean, we can say that they have a mission section, which is great, and it is clear that they do have a mission. And I like too how they include a little bit of an origin story in that section, and they say we're both from large families and missing socks were a problem, so we designed these socks to mix and match. But then they don't really get into why they're sourcing cotton sustainably and using organic cotton and making their socks in Europe instead of outsourcing it to Asia. And we also don't really know why their socks are all kind of these funky designs. They just say, oh, we wanted to bring a cool and different angle to fashion. I mean, that's something that any fashion company would probably be able to say, right? We wanted to bring something new to fashion. And so I think that this could be tightened down and refined by, first of all, putting a bit more emphasis on the fact that they are sustainable. We noticed as well in the footer of their website is actually carbon neutral, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
it ties in with being organic and sustainable cotton and so on. But that's not really ever touched on apart from that little logo in the bottom. And their mission seems to it lacks a focused kind of single unifying theme to it, right?
Yeah.
You know, a bit above the mission section too, there's a headline above the newsletter opt-in that says "Tired of missing socks," and then they're talking about large families and missing socks. So that ties back, but then all of a sudden they're talking about sustainability and quality, and then they're talking about unique and fashionable. So somehow, I mean, I understand that these are all aspects of what they're doing, but there needs to be a unifying thing that's tying this all together.
Yeah, it's there's a bit of story here, but why fun socks? Why now? Why these guys?
Yeah, exactly.
The sustainability. We found this site from an article that was talking specifically about sustainable and ethical fashion companies. So we know that they're either sustainable or ethical. To come to this page without knowing that, it would take me a while to realize. It's also worth noting that with the increase of sustainable options in the market, which is brilliant, we can't just say sustainable and have that be, oh, well, I'm going to buy there then, right? That's now. What kind of sustainable? Are they reducing water waste? Are they creating products in a renewable way? Are they do they have a particularly clean supply chain? Are they employing people in a particular community? What was the reason for going for fun socks versus? And they don't socks? on the sustainability side of things too. They don't talk about why any of that is important, right? Like, why is using organic cotton important? Unless you know that cotton is one of the most sprayed crops and have most heavily pesticide use on cotton, saying that organic cotton, it's like there's just a disconnect, you know? Right. Yeah. So there's this whole. It feels as though there's a whole story behind this, and these guys, they look like fun guys.
Yeah.
I suspect that. There's a whole reason why they went for the fun socks, why they went for sustainable, why they feel that they are the guys for the job. There's all of that going on in their minds.
Yeah.
Possibly in other pages in the site. It's not clear to us here. It's not even if we want to learn more, we can't, because the buttons contact us.
Yeah.
If you said, learn more about our story, that might be one thing. If it wasn't to be given to us on this page. So there's a whole story there. So a message, a takeaway, guys, would be when you're mission-oriented, cause-driven, there is a story that you're doing what you're doing, whether you have articulated it before or not. And that story is one of your superpowers. It's what sets you apart from everybody else.
And it may not be immediately clear. And in fact, this is what we work on first with our clients. One of the first things we work on is articulating that story and bringing it to life through what we call the mission narrative. And if you'd like to learn more about that, we'll give you a link at the end of this review where you can go and learn more about that process.
Yeah, it takes like a couple hours.
Yeah.
It takes a couple hours of one-on-one consultation. It's got money backs on it. It helps tremendously tell stories like what we're talking about here. But that's definitely a takeaway here. Is there is going to be a mission behind a site like yours. Mm-hmm. And the better we can tell that story, the more we're going to set ourselves out from the crowd as being one of one. We're unique. This is our story. This is why we're doing this. This is why we are the best fit for this, because this is our story. Right? Yeah. Why now and all the rest of it. So that's a whole thing that can really connect people with your message and your brand.
Yeah.
Any other things on mission?
I think that's good for mission.
Great. Well, then that is all 5 sections of this site with the socks that don't suck. So
I do want to say as we wrap up too, I'm a big fan of this website. I think they've done a great job in many areas. So
yeah, I wear predominantly just black socks, so I know that I'm not the target market. But if I were to wear fun socks, then this is the sort of place that I would like to go. Oh, here we go. They got some black ones.
Yeah.
And I find the mystery box is a great idea to inject some fun into a brand.
Yeah.
So I think that's a wrap then for this creative marketing review number 4.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you for joining us again. Share this live with your friends if you would, please, so that they can learn how to level up. So I'm going to put a link on the screen here. Check out this link here, fairhead.net. That's our umbrella page that connects to everything that we do. Have a look at that and you'll be able to see how to level up your company's online communication and digital marketing in the next 8 weeks for your company. And the link that Matt was referring to a moment ago, the mission narrative system, if you want to get straight direct access to that, go to tryabc.net, tryabc.net, and that'll take you straight there as well. All right, until next time, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye for now.
Hey, so I hope this video helped you learn a few key ways to grow your company by improving your website. If you found it valuable, if you found some key insights in this, then be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel today. Just click on the YouTube subscribe button below. And if you want more exclusive tips that we reserve only for our subscribers, then go to fairheadcreative.com/blog and opt in for our newsletter. We keep our very best stuff for our subscribers. Now it's your turn. Which of the things that you've learned today are you going to apply in your company? Let us know by leaving a comment below.